The French affectionately call their beloved homeland Le Hexagone because of its distinct six-sided shape. Each corner of France has its own unique character. The rugged and outdoorsy French Alps, sun-drenched and slow-paced Provence, and glamorous and gorgeous Côte d'Azur coastline, and idyllic Alsace, a pastoral region where storybook hamlets are tucked away in the vine-covered rolling hills. Paris and Versailles are must-see destinations for a first trip to France. Other classic travel itineraries include stops at fashionable seaside resorts, fairy tale castles, and glorious Gothic cathedrals. Today, I am going to show you top 10 places to visit in France. Before the video begins, please give it a like, and if you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel. Now let's begin. 10. The Alsace region. The historic cities of Strasbourg and Colmar, along with the hundreds of Alsatian villages, have a special old-world charm that is completely distinct from the rest of France. The architecture and ambiance of Alsace has been influenced over the centuries by neighboring Germany, as seen in the brightly painted, half-timbered buildings and venerable Gothic churches. Quaint and cultured, Strasbourg enchants visitors with its narrow cobblestone streets, scenic canals, and ornate cathedral. Colmar is the quintessential Alsatian town, full of interesting old churches and traditional houses with flower-bedecked balconies. Outside these two cities is an unspoiled landscape of vine-colored foothills. Nestled in the valleys and along the Rhine River are tiny storybook hamlets and picturesque villages. The Alsace Villages route is a delightful way to explore the region. Many villages are listed as the Plus Beaux Villages de France, most beautiful villages of France, and some are designated as Villages Fleuris, flowering villages, because of the vibrant potted flowers that adorn homes and streets. 9. Joan of Arc monuments in Chinon, Rouen, and Orléans. France's national heroine, Joan of Arc, led the country to victory during the 100 Years' War when she was only 17 years old. Her divinely ordained mission, instructed by heavenly voices, is still an inspiration to the faithful. Among the top attractions of the Loire Valley, Orléans is another essential stop on the Joan of Arc Trail. The city was saved by the Maid of Orléans during the siege of 1492. After leading the French to defeat the English army, Joan of Arc came to the town's Cathedral St. Croix to pray. The cathedral's 19th-century stained-glass windows recount the history of Joan of Arc. In a 15th-century half-timbered house, the Maison de Joan of Arc presents exhibits about Joan of Arc, who is now recognized as a saint by the Catholic Church. A bronze equestrian statue of Joan of Arc graces the Place du Mouchoir in Orléans. 8. Biarritz and Saint-Jean-de-Luz. A blend of Parisian-style elegance and the untamed natural beauty of the Atlantic coast, Biarritz is an upscale seaside resort with fabulous beaches. Biarritz was favored by Empress Eugenie, who loved this area of the Basque region. She chose a sandy hillside overlooking the Bay of Biscay as the location for her imperial residence, the Villa Eugenie. This Second Empire palace has been converted into luxury accommodations, the five-star Hôtel du Palais, which offers exquisitely decorated guest rooms and an oceanfront gastronomic restaurant. Next to the hotel property is the Grande Plage, a sandy beach that has attracted sunbathers since the Belle Epoque. Another of the top beaches in Biarritz is the Plage du Marimar, a picturesque scene of colorful striped cabanas and parasols during summertime. This sheltered beach has the delightful ambiance of an old-fashioned seaside resort. 7. Fishing villages, historic ports, and beaches in Brittany. A picturesque coastal region, Brittany has a rich maritime heritage seen in its historic port towns, Saint-Malo, surrounded by old ramparts, the medieval capital of Nantes, and the fortified 14th-century Qustions. The seaside also boasts stylish beach resorts like fashionable Dinard on the Côte d'Amoreau, the summertime vacation destination of La Baule on the estuary of the Loire River, and Tréboul near the lovely riverside town of Quimper. The scenery is dramatic and unspoiled, with secluded sandy beaches and a rocky coastline, where wild Atlantic waves crash against the shore. Centuries-old fishing villages are sheltered in quiet bays and on tiny windswept offshore islands. Breton culture can be traced back to the Celts. The local dialect is related to Gaelic. Similar to Ireland, it is a land of mythology and legends. Today, Brittany is strongly Catholic. Locals celebrate ancient religious customs called pardons, special festivals when townspeople wear old-fashioned regional costumes. The local cuisine features delicious specialties such as fresh seafood and savory buckwheat crepes. Brittany also has a famous regional pastry, the Qustions, a buttery pastry made with croissant dough that is layered with sprinkles of sugar, has a moist cake-like center and a crispy, caramelized exterior. 6. Reims and its magnificent Gothic cathedral. Reims is justifiably placed among France's list of Villes d'Art et d'Histoire, cities of art and history. Of the town's 3 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the most renowned is the Cathédrale Notre-Dame de Reims, where French kings were crowned. The most celebrated event was when Joan of Arc escorted Charles VII to the cathedral in July of 1429 for his coronation as king. Built in the 13th century, the Notre-Dame Cathedral of Reims is a gem of high Gothic architecture. The dazzling exterior features a profusion of flying buttresses and sculpted angels, while the spacious interior has a solemn ambiance of spirituality. Among the city's top attractions, other UNESCO-listed landmarks include the Palais de Tau, a 17th-century archbishop's palace, and the 11th-century Basilique Saint-Remy. 5. The Chateau of the Loire Valley. Like the scenes of a fairy tale, magnificent castles are scattered throughout the densely forested landscape of the Loire Valley. Stretching for 280 kilometers from Sully-sur-Loire to Chalon-sur-Loire in Anjou, the Loire Valley is the largest UNESCO-listed site in France. The region boasts an incredibly rich cultural heritage. During the 15th and 16th centuries, France's kings built sumptuous country retreats here purely for entertainment and enjoyment. Extravagant chateaux such as the grandiose Château de Chambord and the emblematic Château de Chenonceau offer insight into the opulence of the Renaissance-era French court. French nobles and elites also built stately manor houses, such as the majestic Château of Cheverny and the Château d'Azay-le-Rideau, in an idyllic setting with a water-filled moat. For families with kids, the Mini Château Park in Amboise is a marvelous destination. Set in 2 hectares of woodlands, the amusement park features more than 40 replicas of Loire Château built on a 1/25th scale. Children love exploring the kid-sized castles designed with authentic details. 4. Mont Saint-Michel in Normandy. Mont Saint-Michel is a highlight of the Normandy region, a pastoral landscape of apple orchards, woodlands, and cow pastures. This unmissable tourist attraction ranks number 1 on the long list of Normandy travel destinations, which includes stellar sites such as historic castles and picture-perfect towns. Built between the 11th and 13th centuries, the Abbey of Mont Saint-Michel is one of the most awe-inspiring sites in France. The UNESCO-listed abbey is perched on the hilltop of an islet in the Bay of Mont Saint-Michel and is considered a marvel of Gothic architecture. The Abbey Church was an important medieval pilgrimage site on the Way of St. James route to Santiago de Compostela in Spain. Modern-day pilgrims still make the journey here, crossing the Bay of St. Michel by foot at low tide. Visiting Mont Saint-Michel is a spirit-lifting experience. Tourists may attend religious services, concerts, and cultural events at this sublime historic abbey. 3. The Côte d'Azur. Also known as the French Riviera, the Côte d'Azur is a glamorous stretch of Mediterranean coastline named for its deep, azure blue waters. The skies are often a mesmerizing cerulean hue as well, thanks to the sunny weather most of the year on this area of southern France. Stretching roughly from Saint-Tropez, overlapping with the Provence region, to Menton, less than 30 kilometers from the border with Italy, the Côte d'Azur has been a fashionable seaside resort destination since the early 19th century. Spring and autumn bring milder weather and a quieter, more relaxing atmosphere. The Côte d'Azur has something for everyone. Nice is the place to enjoy the good life, visit art museums, and stroll along cobblestone streets and palm-fringed boulevards. Within a short drive from Nice are palaces to visit as day trips, such as splendid waterfront villas and top-notch art museums. Among the most famous French Riviera tourist attractions are Cannes, which has a dazzling beachfront promenade and an alluring old town, and Monaco, a tiny royal principality that is synonymous with luxury and decadence. Both Cannes and Monaco feature 5-star hotels, acclaimed restaurants, and yacht-filled marinas. 2. The charming countryside of Provence. In contrast to the gray skies of Paris and northern France, the charming region of Provence basks in bright Mediterranean sunshine most of the year. This rural area feels untouched by the modern world and has a rugged, earthy appeal. The rolling hills are covered with a patchwork of small farms, olive groves, sunflowers, and lavender fields. Fragrant rosemary, sage, and thyme and other wild herbs grow here in abundance and enliven the local cuisine. In this dreamy landscape, Impressionist painters found inspiration to create vibrant works of art. Visitors are enchanted by the villages perchés, which crown Provence's hilltops. Two favorite destinations are Saint-Paul-de-Vence, a picture-perfect walled medieval town near many Côte d'Azur tourist spots such as Ise, and Gourdet, which is among the top attractions in the Louvre. 1. Paris and Versailles. Appreciated for its elegance and joie de vivre, Paris is a grand European capital filled with architectural masterpieces like the Eiffel Tower and the Notre Dame Cathedral. Reflecting the city's rich heritage, the Louvre, one of the top museums in Paris, contains an exceptional fine arts collection. While the Musée d'Orsay and the Musée de l'Orangerie display treasures of French Impressionist art. Other charms of Paris are its atmospheric medieval quarters and graceful boulevards. Quintessential tourist experiences include shopping at bookshops on the Latin Quarter, strolling the Champs-Élysées, and people watching from a sidewalk cafe terrace on the Boulevard Saint-Germain-des-Prés. A short train ride from Paris is the UNESCO-listed Château de Versailles. Built for Louis XIV, the Sun King, this opulent 17th-century palace is a testament to the glory and absolute power of the French monarch. The château's splendid Baroque facade, dazzling hall of mirrors, and fountain-adorned formal gardens allow visitors to imagine a scene of France's bygone royal court. Thank you for watching, and please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and enable post alerts to view more of our future videos. After saying that, keep watching our videos, and I'll speak with you in the next one.